Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, December 27th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used to help make good decisions, this will be a video for you. One quick note, I'm saying the 27th and Monday because the markets are closed on the 24th for Christmas. So just keep that in mind. Before I get to the stocks, real quick, just want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering next week. So if you're liking what you see as I go through the video and you're wanting to learn more about this tool of charts and how it can be used to build consistency as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, then there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click on. So just keep that in mind. And if you're liking what you see, then definitely get signed up for the free class. A couple of quick clarification points. First off, I am doing what is known as the 30-minute time frame. So if you're a beginner, each one of these candlesticks, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. Second, the market is still open for a little bit. So that candle right there will still be moving as I go through the different charts. But, as far as an overarching standpoint, all the levels that I talk about will still be relevant. But I like to do these when the market's still open for a little bit of time because sometimes we can capture some really interesting and entertaining action live as it's playing out. But first one here, ticker symbol TSLA, Tesla. And what a monster move this thing has had. For those of you that watched the video previously, talked about that resistance line right there, that red line. And you can see this morning came up there, got the break of it. And I mean, it never really looked back until now, kind of at least going sideways here a little bit. But overall, got the breakout. Fantastic move from there. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these lines as they've served their purpose for now. And the big level here that I think a lot of people will be watching now moving into next week is going to be this just kind of flat area right here. And let's call it the 1070 mark. So 1070 going to be a level that, like I said, a lot of people are watching. And that's important because when a lot of people are watching the same level, wondering the same thing, it can produce some very dynamic movements. Even if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, well, it is what it is. And does that, let me be very clear, does that mean that it's for sure guaranteed to explode? I'm not saying that, but is it rational? Is it a plausible thought that if the price can push up through that level, that could cause quite a bit of upwards buying pressure? Absolutely. So keep an eye on 1070 as that main area of resistance. As far as support levels are concerned, key level to watch with any sort of pullback down there around the 1040 mark. But all in all, the very nice uptrend continues, and it'll be interesting to see if this can carry into Monday. Next one, SOPA, and pretty crazy. Not crazy because I've been doing this, but it does a great job of showing the power of charts, but it'll always just still surprise me how accurate things can be. But for those of you that watched yesterday's video, talked about that red line right there as resistance, and when you know it, opening 30 minutes, price broke it, shot all the way up there, very nice potential trade, came back down, found some support, which is what you would expect to see. Resistances tend to act as support, but then unfortunately the price did break down below there. And then check it out. Try to get a move again, and once again failed, essentially right at that red line before going back down, which is my long way of saying that level that was resistance in the previous video is once again going to still be that level of resistance headed into Monday, which right now, give or take, around the $18 mark. So keep an eye on that because it did show, today showed, if anything, that when that level can really be broken, it can get moving very quickly. So once more, to reiterate, does that mean that it's guaranteed to get up there and for sure make a great move? No, but it makes it a valid and plausible thought process to have. In terms of levels of support, nothing new here to report. If you do like to play pullbacks, still have the $13 mark, which is that green line there. But you also now have that 50-period moving average, which on my chart is being denoted by that purple line there. And you can see they basically now, matched up with one another. So that would be an area if you like to play pullbacks down at 13. But overall, $18 key break point, $13 key pullback point. Next one here, AMC. And we'll start with the good. And the good is, we'll start with the bad. The bad is the price actually came down to that trend line, which I've drawn before and broke down below it. But the good is, and when you got to give credit where credit's due, the breakdown did not actually last that long. And it was a complete fake breakdown because all of a sudden the price snapped back up here. But now the big dynamic moving forward is, as you can see right here, the price is essentially sitting right at that trend line again, which brings about the more than valid question of, okay, are the bulls going to be able to hold? Is this trend line going to hold strong? Or is the price going to drop down below it and then potentially turn into some sort of massive chop fest or something like that? That'll remain to be seen. But the good news is that so far so good. That trend line is holding strong. Yeah, like I said, played a little game with the bears there, making them think that they were getting some sort of kind of jump on things, but then all of a sudden snapped right back against them. So overall, the trend line is holding strong, but given, the location of the price right now relative to it, it's definitely, like I said, a key priority to be wondering, okay, it's looking like it's probably going to get tested again on Monday. Will it be able to hold? And we'll see what happens. If the price does bounce, then as far as resistances are concerned, still have the overarching one up here at 32. But in the near term, all about that purple line there, 50 period moving average. You can see right there, acted as resistance. And then today on the big bounce, look at that. I mean, you just can't make that stuff up. The power of charts went right up to that moving average and got smacked back down from it. So moving forward, yes, 32 still that main level, but current value of that 50 period right there, let's just call it 29.30, will be that initial level of resistance. Next one, ticker symbol KTTA, and I like this one for a very simple reason. You have a couple well-defined resistance points. First one right here at, what is that, $2.06. So we'll just call it the self-fulfilling prophecy mark, meaning a bunch of people drew a line like that and said, okay, if the price can get up there and potentially break through it, maybe, just maybe, that'll generate some upwards buying pressure, and that is completely a valid thought process to have. However, you do want to keep in mind that even with the break of that, you got to be careful, because not that far up above, you have that pink line there, the 200 period moving average, which, it can be broken. I mean, case in point right there, but that is going to be a pretty hefty level of resistance too. So point being, just because it breaks above 206, I wouldn't exactly call that, okay, everything is perfectly fine now. Now, if it can get up there and break through that 200 period, okay, then at that point, it's, the chart starts to open up a bit. So just keep that in mind. And then if you like to play pullbacks, key level to watch for, if this does pull back some more, depending on how aggressive you want to get, right down there around the $1.70 mark is pretty interesting. But overall, like I said, I like the potential. I like the well-defined nature of this to create those self-fulfilling prophecy type areas. So we'll see if this thing can curl back upwards on Monday. Next one here, ticker symbol XXII, and I like this one from strictly the reference point of not having to worry about, I don't know, am I chasing? Am I about to buy the top? Am I suffering from FOMO, fear of missing out? There is no worry of that. The people that were suffering from FOMO and buying the top, well, those are the people over here. But now with the pullback, you have yourself a much better risk profile. So just because it's pulled back doesn't mean that it's for sure going to recover back upwards. I'm just saying you can at least eliminate that worry, which is always a good worry to have, right? Because you should always be questioning, am I chasing the price right now? Am I going to be the person that buys the top? But you wouldn't have to worry about that anymore. And then just from strictly, a pattern perspective, and I'll draw this in very kind of loosely here to just convey the overall idea. So there's the resistance part of the pattern. There's a support part. In fact, let me change that to green to represent more so the bullish dynamic of it. And then to make this easiest to see, we'll make it all one color. So again, we have resistance, we have support, we have the big momentum move right there. This would be known as a bull flag pattern. So if you like to play bull flags, and if you like to play this price range, well then here you go. XXII should be on the watch list. Next one here, NKLA, and along the same lines as the one we just talked about, which is why I want to put them back to back. If you like to play patterns, I mean, this is a very, very well-defined pattern. So let's just get this thing drawn into play. So we have the general level of resistance right there. We have the very well-defined area of support right there at about $10.85. And again, let me just change that to green to represent the bullish dynamic of things. And then just to complete the pattern and make it all one color, resistance, support, momentum move. And then this one's a little different. So if we put the golf hole down here, this would be called a bull pennant. So yes, we were just looking at a bull flag. This is a bull pennant. Now, does the verbiage really matter? At the end of the day, no. Don't get too hung up in the arbitrary name of these patterns, right? Just understand that, yeah, it's a big momentum move up. The price is consolidating. So now it's just a question of, who's ultimately going to win out. Is this just a temporary break before the momentum continues? That's a more than plausible thought process to have. So if you do like to play bull pennant patterns, here you go. Next one here, QLGN, and this had a pretty unfortunate pullback in the afternoon. I mean, a really nasty one, actually, to think that the price was up here and then all of a sudden just dropped and dropped and dropped. But that didn't ruin the entire chart. So if you are somebody that likes to play pullbacks, and once again, going back to the argument of, well, at least you don't have to worry about, I don't know, am I chasing? Am I buying the top? Nope, that's already been out of the way. There was already people that were buying right there and chased and bought the top. But now with the pullback and the price is approaching some very interesting levels, from a support standpoint, that area being right around $1.25 here. So if the price comes down here and, can base around $1.25, I mean, think about what that would still be showing you from the bigger picture point of view. That would be showing you a set of lows here, a set of lows there, those lows down there. If you envision each of those as stair steps, well, you still got stair steps progressing the upwards direction. So assuming you care about the big picture point of view, that could be, still a very attractive chart setup there. So keep an eye on that if you like to play those pullbacks. If you do want to just see if this thing can recover, then main area of resistance seems to be right up there around $1.55. But yeah, pretty rough pullback. But if you like to play these bigger pullbacks that are still occurring within overall uptrends, then this is one that I would definitely keep an eye on. Next one here, SNDL. Been tracking this one on a pretty daily basis now, and I feel, kind of obliged now to just keep things updated as long as updates need to be made. And yeah, after today, the trend continues and another updates need to be done. So let me go ahead and get that level out there as it served its purpose for now. But the big update here that actually played out perfectly is just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states, and I think I maybe said this earlier, when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. The power of charts. So the price broke above that level right there. So at that point, you'd expect this area to act as support. And wouldn't you know it? Acted as support. Acted as support. So moving forward, 67 cents now the newest ideal level of support. Ideal meaning that would make the chart look the healthiest and the best. But if the price drops below 67, that doesn't mean that the entire trend's destroyed or anything like that. But yeah, preferably speaking, if the price can stay above that level, that would be a very impressive sign of strength. From the overarching standpoint, just watch that purple line, which you now know is that 50-period moving average. So as long as that line continues to move higher and the price stays above it, then overall that means that the trend is remaining fully in the bull's favor. And then as far as areas of resistance are concerned, pretty straightforward. After today's data gave us a insight into that seemingly that 69-cent mark is going to be that main level to watch. But overall, higher bases continue to be built, and that's what matters most when you're building a trend. Next one here is ALLK, and I haven't moved over here just because of that big gap. I mean, a monster gap down happened to it on Wednesday. So I just have to move things over here just to make it a little bit easier to see. But really the main dynamic, which you can see here, is that the price was down quite a bit lower, but has now come back up. So it brings about the valid question of, all right, is this the start of something bigger? Has this thing finally bottomed out here and started to work its way upwards, where, you know, the thing is going to get turned around? And wow, okay. Did my internet just go out or something? Everything's jumping around. I think we're still in business. Anyways, the price started to go back up, which brings about the question of, okay, maybe this is some sort of bomb. And I just want to show this again to illustrate just how far down this gap down occurred. And I'm not saying that, okay, this is the bottom, this is the turnaround, this thing's going to reverse back up and close the gap at $84. I'm not saying that. But I mean, even if this thing just decides to make a little bit more of a move back up to, let's say, 20 to 15. I mean, from where the price is right now, that's still a very worthwhile move from a percentage standpoint. So like I said, nothing's guaranteed to happen, but it now at least becomes valid to question this. Because let's just say, for example, that the price had just continued to drift down today. It'd be irrelevant. It would be illogical for me to say, hey, it's looking like this thing may be getting ready to turn around. You'd be like, wait, what? What are you talking about? The price is still just dropping. But that's not what happened here, right? The price at least started to go back up. So that doesn't guarantee anything, but it does make it valid to wonder, all right, maybe this is starting to get turned around here. So from a resistance standpoint, key level to watch in my mind going to be right there, which is, brings it right around $10.75. So keep an eye on that level. But if this thing does decide to, even if it's just a dead cat bouncing it, quote unquote, only dead cats up to, let's say, $15. I mean, from where it is right now, that's still a very quality trade. So worth at least keeping somewhere on the watch list early next week. Next one here, RIOT, which is essentially a Bitcoin stock here. And things are maybe starting to come off the bottom here. And I say that just because, well, the pattern has started to behave in a way where there was this, top part right here. And you did have, and here we go again. Apologize for that. I don't know what's going on with my either internet or chart provider, but had this pattern here, this ascending triangle. And then today you can see that the market did get the upwards break of that ascending triangle. And then, of course, right there, it got stuck around that 200-period moving average, that pink line there, which doesn't mean that it can never get up through it, but it just makes sense why the pattern, was broken. And then all of a sudden, it got stuck right around that area. But the key point here being is this the start of something bigger? Is Bitcoin, is, RIOT, is, crypto in general going to start to work its way back upwards? And think about that. In order to ask that question, is this the start of something bigger? Well, something needs to happen in the first place. And what happened? Well, in this situation, what happened was the breakout of this pattern. No, maybe it doesn't mean anything. Maybe this is just going to go right back down. That's always possible too. But again, the point being is it now becomes valid and plausible to be asking, hey, is this the start of something bigger? And the first kind of next confirmation point is going to be, can the price actually break above and stay above that pink line there, which again is that 200-period moving average. So keep an eye on that, but very, very impressive move here. Got the technical pattern breakout. Now let's see if it can get more continuation on Monday and early next week. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can be used, how it should be used to build consistency as a trader and why it's so powerful, then definitely get signed up for the class next week. Like I said, it'll be Thursday. December 30th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, so get signed up for it. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these videos and would like me to keep making them, then please communicate that to me by hitting that like button and leaving a simple comment below. Say hi, say Merry Christmas, give me a ticker symbol that you're looking at. But those two things, hitting the like button, leaving a simple comment, communicate to me that you enjoy these videos. And as long as I know people are enjoying, I will continue to make them. And again, get signed up for the free class if you want to learn more about this tool and how to build consistency. Everybody take care and have a very Merry Christmas.